The problem with women in games. Oh wait. Do you want to actually watch this first, or should we watch the video of him talking about the aftermath of everything going around? Should we even watch this? Because I'm pretty sure that's been good already. We're giving up points of interest. Context first. Context first, indeed. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You have a point there. Okay. I mean, context is better. Yeah. Sure. Okay, let's watch this one.
I'm starting to spiral here.
Oh wait, should I watch the real video or should I watch the video that was reacted by Asmongold? This was 4 weeks ago. The one where Asmongold reacted to it or no? Let's watch a video where Asmongold reacted to it.
The problem with women in games.
Okay, yeah, okay. We should really watch this video.
Well, there's a lot of them. But okay, let's hear about this one.
I would agree on that. And none of them are actually related to the gender itself. It's just how people are actually pursuing them and making it as a big of a problem, apparently. I would just look at that. But I am very curious. I'm very curious about this video. How long is this video? 70 minutes, okay.
And magnetism. Why can't games with dedicated female leads do the same thing? Well, what are some of the more recent female leads that we've been graced with? I think about Frey from Forspoken.
Oh, it's a very, very bad one. Frey could have been interesting, but oh god, the writing is so obnoxiously bare-boned and disgustingly bad. It's just bad, and there was so many cringe moments left and right. There was also a female lead of like other games as well. What was it? There was another. I can't think of it.
She can fight dragons.
Because I'm not
I think
mistaken.
that she's attractive. I do. I think.
To me, attraction is not even the main problem here. I just think she's okay.
People are porn-brained if they don't think that she's attractive.
Okay.
At least in that image, she's attractive.
Yeah.
Bend the laws of physics and literally parkour across dimensions. That's super cool. But for some reason, they gave her the most awkward dialogue and had her deliver every line like she was on the line with customer service. Neat. What about
it was like written by AI GPT. You know, like it's actually really bad. Actually. There were just moments where it felt like you were talking to a 16-year-old, not a real proper teenage girl.
Vest from Star Wars.
Oh my god! Thank you. I was thinking about her. Thank you. I generally forgot that was actually a Star Wars game made by Ubisoft. How could I forget about Star Wars Outlaw? How can I forget about that obnoxious game? Jeez, is that game really that forgettable? Damn.
Outlaw.
Can't say the same.
She's a scrappy space outlaw, in theory.
Yeah.
In practice, she kind of.
She's honestly, that girl from Star Wars Outlaw is kinda attractive, but it's just the fact that it's actually put in Star Wars, and I kind of lost hope, in many ways.
Respawn from a bug and isn't sure where she is or why she's there. Okay, well, what about female Ivor from Assassin's Creed Valhalla?
Couldn't care less. It's literally Assassin's Creed open world, and those two words does not go very well for me. And protagonist female lead, if I'm not mistaken, Assassin's Creed has a little bit of favoritism where like one character. Wasn't this like Assassin's Creed Valhalla where like you can pick two genders, right? One male and one female, where apparently one gender was actually more canon compared to the other. Is that right? Because like I've heard one thing that was actually true about Valhalla, where like one gender was actually have more context and more story to it compared to the male one. I'm pretty sure it was a female one that was actually getting more story base. Yeah, the female is more kind of oh shit. Well, that's one way to actually blow out the female leads into the gaming universe. Wow. Damn, that's not pretty. Nope.
Actually, she was canonically the real one, but you probably wouldn't know that.
Oh yeah, she didn't mention that.
I was like, dang, that's crazy. Anyway, check out this guy's
Yep.
Or
What the
Dragon
fuck?
Age the Veilguard. this game was like 10 years.
Oh god, why are we talking about this? I totally forgot that game still exists. Damn, there's so many games that I really thought that was actually a big problems into the community. There's so many games that I just forgot about them. That was like just being a problem. Are the games really that forgettable for me?
It's in the oven, and
Jeez.
it still came out.
Well, it got overcooked. That's the
Overcooked? That looks like undercooked for me! Sir, they have a reference from the older game, Dragon Age Inquisition. You have that game as a good formula for character design, where people, I kid you not, there were some people, I never played the game, but I actually literally simped for. It was one of those women, okay, I'm not even gonna say who it is, but like, you know who I'm talking about. But there's there's so many characters in there that was just good looking. Why did I not use that? And then I brought up with a character where like with smaller body, bigger head, and it just look undercooked. Vil what? Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
problem. The reason why they have these issues is because it's built off of a false reality that men and women are interchangeable. And the way that they approach life, struggles, issues, and the way that they think are the same.
That is very... Yeah, that's one thing that you can actually argue with.
And the big problem is that they're not. So when you...
Yeah, because like, in reality, there are things you can't control when it comes to like, you gotta learn something, right? We can't change something in reality when you come back to it. You can't live free or something like that, because if that was the case, we would actually live in paradise. Isabella is who I sim for. I think her name is Isabella from Velgard. But that's also a thing where like I have a problem with like them game developers, where like they're actually pushing into something they don't think that can actually have problem with, because like they put up their own idea first, but they don't have any more of thoughts of like what's actually like the cons of like bringing out that idea forth, you know, like they don't give a shit about it. And the way I see it is, it feels like more like they think they can control it. They think they can control the idea of it, or like the reality they live in, and then show it to shove it up to other people's face and say it's fine. No, that's not how it works. Clearly, those people don't know how they live in the internet. They don't know how the internet works. They massacre Isabella's character in Vilgard. Wait, Isabella? Okay, so this is Isabel. Oh my god, I remember her. Oh shit, I forgot about her. She is pretty. Oh, wait, she's in Velgard? Velgard? She's in Velgard? Oh dear god, what in the god bloody heavens name is this? What in the fuck's name? Wait! Wait, isn't this the woman who actually like she has that dialogue where she said like where she mispronounced a person and then she just go down and do push-ups? Is she the one who did that? Or am I wrong? I could be wrong. I'm sweating. What the fuck? That looks pretty kinda meh to me. Something about it doesn't feel right. She's not the same. She's supposed to be unapologetic, but they are made Isabella apologize to her. Damn! So that did actually made it. Wait. I gotta see this. Isabella Dragon Age Vilgard. Tashin?
So, Tash Prize, the enormous...
Oh my god, it is this scene where she has to push up. Oh my god.
...out of the statue's eye socket. Except then it wakes up, and now it's real pissed that it's missing an eye.
The giant
I'm gonna move
snake.
forward.
What would have been better than that? Dragon. Maybe.
Oh my god, it is her!
Her other hand. Maker's panties. I was so proud.
Oh,
What?
While Tash is pounding that snake's nose, she's still holding the ruby in her other hand. Maker's panties. I was so proud.
Okay.
Oh,
Ah, shit. They're still holding it. Sorry.
what are you doing?
Pulling a barb.
Oh, okay. A barv?
This is what I meant. This is what I meant, where like people, you have these game developers that think they can control the reality that you already live in. That's not how it works. They think they can control however they want just because they're fictional. Make it stop. I'm sorry. Let's go to the old version of Isabella.
Lower. I beg your pardon, Hawk.
What the
I
fuck?
did not mean to expose you to such things.
Ah! What the shit? What the fuck? Whoa! 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 Buddy! Whoa! 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 Ah! I didn't mean. Oh! Wow! Hey! Yo! Well, that's the Dragon Age I know of. Well, I didn't expect that. Okay. All right. Okay. Damn! Isabella love scene? Wait, I need to see this. Isabella Dragon Age 2 scene. Where though? Should I watch this one?
You don't have to be here if you don't want to be. I'm not leaving. If you insist on fighting for some principle or other, I'm going to be right beside you. It figures, doesn't it? I finally find someone I want to be with, and the Templars decide to go crazy and kill everyone. Tell me I'm not going to lose you.
Oh.
You have to
Aww.
be prepared for the worst.
Dragon Age 2 scene. Oh wait. Sorry. My keyboard is a little bit weird. I have to use a it's so weird because like my keyboard is inverted right now. So I have to use this one special app to actually go back to normal, which is very weird. I'm sorry. Which one? Which one? Which one? Which one? Should I which one? The first one, second one? Which one exactly? Let me look it up. Okay, okay. Actually, it's okay. You don't have to. You don't have to. We don't have that much time actually. But we're moving away from the main topic. Oh yeah, for your information, the woman that I was thinking of, that I kind of sim for, where is she? I generally forgot her name though. That's the thing. Where is she? I remember I was actually simping for her actually back then. Oh, Morrigan. Is it Morrigan? Oh yeah, it's Morrigan. I think it's Morrigan. Morrigan. Yeah, it's Morrigan. Yeah, I remember I actually like her. I like her style. She's so daring. That's what I love her. Daring, mature. Is Morrigan in Dragon Age Veilguard? Please don't tell me she's actually in. What in a bloody name is this? What is this? She's like a clown. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Don't tell me that's real. Ah, they mess her up! What the hell? Look, this one, and then going back to this. Ah, they mess her up! What the whatever.
Take a
Let's continue watching this video.
Male character, and then you replace it with a female character, and then you give it the same intuitions, the same impulses, and the same responses that a male character would have, it's off-putting and weird because men and women are different. Their roles in
Yeah, in the end of the day, you can't really change that because they always keep thinking they can actually change the reality of gender, but no, you really can't change anything because you really can't change it up. You just can't. That's the thing, and that's what Asmongold said. It's the fact that they're living a delusional world, thinking they can actually control everything, which is like it's up to them. I'm not gonna criticize anything, but like in the end of the day, you really kind of just ignore everything that's all going around outside of your bubble, you know?
society are different. They're different down to, again, a chromosomal level, and everything about them is different. So you can't just simply replace a male and a female protagonist in a narrative-based game and expect the story to be told the same way.
This is why also like this is going to be a little bit controversial take. This is why I never actually believe in gender equality. I think gender equality doesn't really strive to something that's actually better. It's just more like it's more striving into something that is actually much more delusional. Thinking like you're actually in the same part of everyone so that you can actually live in a world that you think that you can actually have a much more advantage for everyone else. What I do think is the fact that I think genders can actually fit their role perfectly for each other. I think that's much more better way to look at. They should just make their own game instead of changing a well-known IP. That's the thing. If they change the IP and make it their own original game, people will not buy the game. Do you know how much people actually buy the game because they have Dragon Age? How many people do you think people actually bought an open world game just because there was actually a splatter Assassin's Creed into the name? Literally. And I know this, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to say something about gender roles and everything because it would be very controversial. Because in the end of the day, it's a thing where like you really cannot just change it by human hands because it's not something that you can actually run away from. And these people, they try to run away and make a bubble, and they try to shove it their own propaganda into your face, which is not really good. And on top of that, you're using a franchise that was heavily beloved by a community that was like years and years ago. That game has been like marinated with good amount of people who love the game, and now here you are trying to actually poison it. Yes, poison it. You change it. You try to change it, and that alone is a poison metaphor for it.
That's the reason why.
And guess what? The fact that they use Dragon Age as a title is it's easier for them to actually make to make it presentable for the huge community, the huge number of community members. They're ruining a franchise because people love the game for a different reason, not that woke bullshit thing. Here's the thing. Do you think it would be better for them to go and just spread out the propaganda into a small theater at your place, or you find a quick route, you go to a big city, invade their spaces, and then you ruin the moment and then just shove it up to everyone else, literally? If you have the difference number, right, 100 people or 100,000 people, you go for 100,000 people because that way you can actually have much more opinion and people would actually be open up into that kind of walk thing, right? So like, of course, there was Blood Dragon Age Valkyrie as a title. That's what they did with Assassin's Creed. That's what they did with Far Cry. That's also what they did with Star Wars. Star Wars. I don't want to get into Star Wars, but so many things about Star Wars lately, it's just not Star Wars at all. Except for Star Wars Endor. Star Wars Endor is perfectly done as a Star Wars franchise. I love that. True, but 100k people needs to whoop their asses. They did. They did. Here's the thing they did not actually account for. It's the fact that these people who think they can actually control their own ideas into the other people's perspective. It's the fact that you have you think these people can actually have these controls in their hands? Here's the thing: you're living in the internet, baby. The internet is not a place where you can actually control however you want. The internet world is easily by far the most brutal place, or probably the most nicest place that you can actually find people with. For example, Twitter. Twitter is probably the only place area that you don't want to fight against with people over there because they can be a little bit degenerate. Um, but because people have so many opinions and so many people are actually like can actually go as far as beyond without any taking any action into it. They can actually just do that literally. And mind you, we're talking about the only internet here. Don't forget, there's investors who putting their money into this game, and then when they see this game being dropped down, they realize they should have never actually done this. Their money is compromised. They're losing their money too with these developers. So technically speaking, there's a chance where like, people might actually sue them. I could be dumb. I'm not really a good like a great person to actually talk about it, but like, you know what I'm talking about, right? Where like if you do this propaganda, if you do this pushing your own ideas or reality that is not real to everyone else, you will lose people. You're not doing justice. You're doing injustice to the gaming community, which is unnecessary. You're poisoning it.
Doggy. It often felt cringy instead of charming, and there really wasn't much mystery, but there was a lot of lecturing. And instead of emotionally rich companions, we kind of just got chronically online Twitter bios and fantasy outfits.
It's crazy because no one is actually on Twitter even talk about it. There's in Dragon Age Valgard. Actually, Dragon Age in as a game, people love the dialogues, the story, the characters. I've seen people actually talk about it. But for Dragon Age Valgard, I don't see a lot of people talk about it. I see people talk about Isabella being a clown for pushing up because of her being apologetic towards a person that was actually mispronouncing it. I don't get the fact that ideas sometimes people have to push their own pronouns to other people so they can actually force everyone to actually call however they want. That is not something that you can also change as well. Yeah, I understand. It's just that I'm mad that that should have happened sooner. I agree. I agree, and unfortunately, I'm 100% on the boat with you. Unfortunately, because Star Wars Acolyte was one of those things that actually did it. They changed so much with the trilogy, the Star Wars, with like the characters, and in the lore. They're pushing it so many things that is just not related to the franchise, and then it felt so personal, you know.
I think you
sure
get the
did.
point, but I'm gonna say it anyway. We need female characters with range, with presence, with a little drama, if you will. The girl.
I think the perfect example who is like a female lead in the game that is very good. I think Lara Croft, the Tomb Raider game. I think she has a really good layer of characteristic. Um, the Lara Croft games have really good characteristic. What other female lead games that are actually really good? Someone please tell me. My brain is not actually really good at trying to brainstorming this shit right now. Um, hmm, hmm. I just forgot.
Girls who meet you feel something.
Bayonetta.
We're
Bayonetta is one of those characters that are. I feel like. Actually, no, you're right. Bayonetta is also another good example where like even though the actions are something people actually really do enjoy, but let's not actually ignore there are actually people out there who actually really do appreciate the character of Bayonetta. Bayonetta 1, Bayonetta 2, and Bayonetta 3. where each actually one of those Bayonetta. I don't. Is Bayonetta 1, 2, Samus Aran from the Metroid franchise. Also another respect, but I don't think there's actually much of characteristic for Samus. That's the thing. Um, should I say it? This might be actually a little bit controversial for me to say it, but I do think Ellie from The Last of Us 2 has really good character. I think she has a really good character. Ellie from The Last of Us 2 has really good layers of the characters, where like she lost Joel, she lost everything, everyone, and I think that was a good layer. Jill, Claire in Resident Evil. I can't say much about Resident Evil because I haven't played them very well, but I would say Ada Wong is also another character. And Ada Wong is a really good example as well. It's a really good example. These are the characters that has really good formula for like a really good female lead, but they don't do a very good job actually. What? Okay, I'm actually female lead games. I'm actually curious about this. I need to know. Dino Crisis, Portal. Oh yeah! Don't forget about Final Fantasy X. Final Fantasy X has a really good layer of characters. Yeah, okay, I forgot about that. Control. Wait, Control. Wait, okay, no. I don't. I have never played Control yet. Tifa and Aerith, but they're not female leads. Tifa and Aerith are not really female leads. Jill and Claire are not also really female leads. But no, Jill is a female lead. If you play Metal Gear Solid 3, the boss is a good one. Oh yeah, I've heard of that actually. I've heard the boss is a really good one from Metal Gear Solid 3. I need to play that game though. I don't want to actually get myself spoiled. I've heard of plenty of good things about that. Clementine in Walking Dead. Oh my god, wait. No, not a fruit. What the fuck? That's a fruit. Oh yeah, the Telltales game. Okay, yeah. Also another one. Big Boss. Do you know who's Big Boss? Exilius? Do you know who's Big Boss from Metal Gear Solid 3? This is a Big Boss. The woman, the white shirt woman. You can see the top left, the top left. That's Big Boss. Wait, Big Boss is Snake? Wait. Wait, what? Are you sure? Wait, what? Really? Bro. Oh wait, you're right. Oh wait, you're right. You're right. Shit. Wait, then what's her name? I forgot. Even Snake has like 3 versions. Yeah, the Solid Snake, Water Snake, and also Prime Snake, if I'm not mistaken. There was a lot of them. The boss is the woman. Oh yeah, the boss. Snake's complete his mission and got ranked up to Big Boss. Okay. Got it. Yeah, this is Big Boss. Yeah. I gotta play Metal Gear Solid, man. Yeah, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna try my best to actually play Metal Gear Solid in my own time if I can. But yeah, well, aside, putting those aside again, there's a lot more characters for female leads if they wanted to. Even though the characters that we just mentioned are some of them are not really female leads, I think that already have a formula to make a good character there. Like there's already a formula for that. But like no, they in the end of the day they throw out the formula and they think they can actually do better and just shove it up their own ideas to everyone else's mouth.
Were not perfect. They were messy and charismatic and complicated in the best way. Sadie Adler from
there's like, I mean, look at X.
Oh my god, Sadie Adler from Red Dead Redemption. Also another good character where like I genuinely thought she was actually a perfect pair for Arthur Morgan, not gonna lie. But she has one of those characters where I really do actually appreciate it. Hello, Spicy. Welcome to the stream.
Expedition 33, right? I mean,
Oh
all
my
of those
god!
characters are very well written. I think.
Wait, I forgot about Expedition 33. Another game that has really good characters in it.
The problem is that I think this is my opinion, is that I think a lot of female writers try to write female characters in opposition to what a female character has traditionally been. And so in writing a character in opposition of what was the normal female character design, what ends up happening is that you're not creating it's like kind of like a card, right? And so like a card like can't stand up by itself. It has to be leaning against another card. So they write this personality to lean up against the old personality of one-dimensional boob characters, and that's it. And so if you take one of these away, they both fall apart. And that's because neither of these different things can stand on their own at all. You already have multiple examples, like Ripley is a great example of this. There's multiple examples.
Oh my god, you're hungry. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm just trying to draw again. Good luck with your drawing. Also, please take care of yourself. I'm glad you're doing well, okay?
Female characters and stories that I think are written relatively well, but you have to write them in a way that's true to the female experience to an extent, and understand that they are not an interchangeable unit with a man.
That's also a thing that you should really have to think about it, because, like, the reason why we play most of the characters, why we actually really understood most of the characters, is because we kind of relate to them, but also at the same time they kind of showed their own experience in their own very unique way. Like what is that one thing that I can actually pull up as an example, as a bad example actually, when it comes to like female characters that was written very very bad? I think, I guess a female character that they can make better stand-up comedian compared to man. Like I know jokes. No, that was a joke. That was a joke. I just don't know if I can think of any of that, but he has a point. Forspoken, yeah. Forspoken was actually just really weird, because like it felt like the main lead of the woman was trying to make jokes, like she's trying to make jokes and feels like she was a man. That's what I'm feeling sometimes. That's why like it felt a little bit weird and really masculine, and it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel entertaining. If it just feels buzz off. It's just taking you away. You're just taking your audience away from the game, literally. What is needed to be shown here is just not there present and to make the audience to look into. You're just turning them away, literally.
And I think that the more that you write women and you do it with a chip on your shoulder, as if, no, she's not going to be the princess that gets saved, this is weird.
I agree.
Like, you're not writing to tell a story, you're writing to prove something.
Yeah.
Dead too?
Exactly. I feel like Ada Wong is like one of those characters where I think she's actually pretty kind of written well, even though she doesn't really have much of saying. Ada Wong is one of those characters where it feels like you wish there was actually like a romance going on between Ada Wong and also Leon, but because of Ada Wong's line of work, you technically can see that like the romance option is not really a thing for her, and you felt like it was actually a little bit sad, and just you feel sad for Leon and Ada Wong, of course, but mostly you would feel more emotion driven for Leon, because Leon has been trying to get into Ada Wong's life for a very very long time, but Ada Wong just keep pushing back. But even though Ada Wong still wants him, but it's just going all around. That's one thing that you can actually feel relatable. It's a good writing. It's a good writing because there were just more variables going around than we thought.
Her husband literally dies, and she goes, "Cool, I'm going feral now." And grieving?
Ah! Imagine you marrying. Oh, what?
You're writing to prove something.
Oh wait. Oh. Feral as in like in anger, not in in being horniness. Sorry, never mind.
Dead
Era
too?
wong adaong ada what? What? I forgot.
A story, you're writing to prove something.
Dead too? Her husband literally dies. And
Uh-huh.
she goes, cool, I'm going feral now. And grieving? Yes. Stunning? Yes. Horse girl?
Yep,
Absolutely.
absolutely
But I would let her
best
run
thing
the
Million
ever.
examples of that in history, like Boudica, right? Like that's the first one I can think of. I mean, it's a messy history, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like, and there are examples of this where it happens.
Okay, so that's why she means by like the girl going feral. I'm stupid. But what the hell is
So true,
Boudica?
yeah.
over with that horse. Chloe Fraser from Uncharted. She's flirty.
Ah, Uncharted got mentioned. Uncharted, like Uncharted and also The Last of Us has really good in-depth story. I would say The Last of Us 1 has really interesting it has really good story base. That's the thing. The Last of Us 2 is a good story but very bad pacing. But that's why I want to actually talk about Ellie from The Last of Us 2. I think she can be a really good female lead. It's just that the direction was a little bit off-putting.
And morally flexible, and somehow still.
But even in the end, I think Ellie is so much better, such a better character compared to the girl from Forspoken, though.
Makes betrayal
By far.
feel hot. Tifa Lockhart from Final Fantasy. She could literally take down a
She's
behemoth in one hit and then
Yeah.
quietly make you some soup and ask if you've been sleeping okay. But when I think
Yeah, that's literally a romance option in Rebirth, if I'm not mistaken. Final Fantasy VII, you can actually go out on a Ferris wheel with Tifa or Aerith or any of the girls. So I kind of appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that between all of the interaction, you can tell that your interaction with Tifa is probably the most loving, affectionate way of like possible you getting out from the game, and I like that. I like that. Even though Tifa is like she's like a female version of Mike Tyson in a fantasy world. She's still a very loving, doting wife. I can see that. She's a good wife.
about just well-written women in games. What's interesting is some of gaming's best women were not even the protagonists, but they were the scene stealers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would have to wonder. Like, you don't need to make a female to make it. You don't need to push out the female, the gender of female into as a like a main protagonist or anything. Siri is one of those characters where you can actually see that she is like a. She doesn't have to be a main character. You can see like a huge amount of progress with her being a badass. Pan and Palmer from Cyberpunk. Another character that I feel like she was also pretty kind of badass as well. Um, what other characters though? I'm actually thinking Tifa, Ada Wong, of course. We got more characters that we think actually female are actually really good, even though they're just side characters in the game.
Ciri from The Witcher 3 is quite literally the entire reason that Geralt is risking his life across these war-torn kingdoms, and she's this complicated, beautiful, just wild young girl who's somehow still more.
Life is Strange also is good as well. It's a very good. Also another very good written written character story. Female V in Cyberpunk was good too. Another reason as well. Female V, well, there's a reason why female and male V in Cyberpunk are very different. I don't know about the second one though. It's fine. The Love is Strange has really good characteristic though. The first one that we're talking about, the first one, it's always okay. But it doesn't feel like she's trying too hard to act tough. That's also a really good thing as well. Yeah, because this is like one of the few developers they know at the very least what makes a female lead being interesting. You know, she doesn't need to be strong or toughening up like a male V, where like male V is more bold and daring compared to female lead. She's kind of gentle in some way, but at some time you can tell that she's also trying to act like a strong person, which is not a very annoying way. It's a more compelling way that we can actually think of. is that there's an attraction, mind you, there's an attraction between between the female lead and the male lead when you actually interact with Johnny Silverhand. There's a lot of few things where you can actually tell in the voice acting, the dialogues. I don't know if they're actually the same dialogue lines, but their emotions were there to tell you there was just a few more affections going around. And don't even get me started with the NPCs. The NPCs, the romance options are completely different. Depends on which gender you pick. So if you pick the male lead, you can actually you can only romance with Panna Palmer if you want to go a very ordinary relationship. You can make male V completely gay if you want to. There is another NPC that is completely separate for that. But when you try to actually romance with Jeannie, I don't remember her name. The girl with the pink hair with a male V, you will get completely rejected. But if you use the female V, you can actually get into a romance relationship with the pink hair girl, but you will get rejected by Pan and Palmer.
Mature than everyone else around her, or Yuna from Final Fantasy X.
Ah, I knew it! She was gonna mention Final Fantasy X. I knew it! Thank God!
Full, selfless, and devastating character who's literally carrying the hopes of an entire world on her back.
And I think also, like, especially whenever you have action games, there's like a certain degree of like just historically, right? I mean, men usually fight for and defend women. This is usually what happens because of biology and about 5 to 10,000 years of history, probably longer than that. And so this story makes a lot more sense because this is always the way things have been. And also you have examples, from Final Fantasy 14, you know, Yashlada or like any of the other characters on there. Many of the female characters were written extremely well, but they weren't the exact same as the male characters.
Yeah.
And then she still apologizes when she inconveniences you. And if that's not being a girl, I don't know what is. And while Western games are nervously kind of every trace of femininity from
or Japanese
female characters, Eastern devs are like,
That's exactly.
I feel like it's more accurate if it was actually more Japanese, but yeah.
Exactly, yeah. They don't want to make feminine characters because they feel like feminine characters are diminutive. That's the problem.
They probably just way too much in Rule 34, and they just say, ooh, brother, ooh, brother, ooh. We don't want that anymore.
I think it's weird because, like, is this like some form of like internalized misogyny that like women have against themselves? In a way, it feels that way.
It kind of, it does feel that way actually. In the end of the day, because internal group of confliction of one gender, it does exist. One of the best prime example is that, does anybody know the fact that there's men cutting off their eyelashes because like the reason why they're cutting off their eyelashes is because they want to increase masculinity, which is the stupidest thing they can actually come up with. He has a point. It's not. The thing is, that shit insane. So like in the end of the day, the reason why they do this, it's not because they're trying to increase their own masculinity or feminine in respective gender. The funny thing is the fact that they're talking about insecurities to be literally terminated, but in the end of the day, they're the one who's being insecure about how they feel or what they are. They don't want to accept it. They don't want to actually really live in a reality. They want to create a bubble where they can actually be uncomfortable with. But in the end of the day, when you live too long in a bubble, you are starting to actually poison everyone else. And the sooner you get out from the bubble, the better it is. Hair is gay, noted. I agree. Well, those I gotta be Johnny Sins after this.
Here's a mysterious woman who could kill you and make you cry about it. You're welcome. Capcom? They've been in their... What
Capcom characters did well with the woman? Street Fighter 6. Ah. Shit. Street Fighter 6 is like probably one of the best example game. They actually have a really good characters in there. Chun-Li, Cammy. Um, those are the only two female characters I can come up with right now. Oh yeah, the female lead from Dino Crisis. Ada Wong, of course. And Ada Wong is technically from Capcom. Oh yeah, you know, is her name Gemma? The blacksmith from Monster Hunter Wilds. Monster Hunter Wilds, the blacksmith one, Gemma or Genma. I forgot her name. I think that one. I think that character is pretty. Gemma. Also another character that's actually much more appealing because she doesn't try her best to stand out as a male character. She's not really that. She's not very masculine, but you know, with all the muscles that she pull up with, right? And she's doing it as a blacksmith. You can tell that she's a woman, but she's just a woman with muscles. It's just that. Like with all that muscle, she's still a woman in there, literally, and it makes her compelling. And people like there's even some people even call her out muscle mommy. Muscle mommy, exactly. Muscle mommy exists. And that's a good thing. It's not bad. It doesn't make her character to be diminished. It doesn't actually take you away from the game. As a matter of fact, it makes people to actually look into the game much more intensive actually.
Iconic woman era since like forever. Resident
Yeah.
Evil is one of my all-time favorite series. And
Jill, Claire,
is
Ada Wong.
tactful, calm, and easily has the cleanest bob in gaming. Ada.
I wish I could actually say something about Jill because I have never actually played Resident Evil very well. I didn't even watch Resident Evil 1 or 2 yet. I did watch Resident Evil 4 though, so I do know some degree of Ada Wong. I'll let her open a jar. Yes! Let her open a jar. Let her do her work. You're just like being a little kid coming up to Gemma like, can you please open a jar for me? Jill is a great character, Kek. I'm not saying she's a bad character. Don't worry. I'm not saying she's a bad character. I just wish I could actually have more information on her because I've never played the game yet. I've been planning to actually play Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 as well. And also 4, actually, when I can.
Is mysterious.
Hi, I'm sorry for just asking this question to you. I need someone to talk to. If you have someone any friends over and you had them over for you to hang out, would you let them go out even if you don't want? Wait, okay. If you have any friends over and you had them over for you to hang out, would you let them go out even if you don't want to and just leave them? And what would you do? Again, I am sorry for dropping this on you. I tried to search it for therapy, but you guys came out. Again, I am sorry. One, don't apologize, or you are free to actually ask for that kind of question. Second, you have friends. Damn, I'm jealous. Third, when it comes to having friends, you're trying to have your friends coming over to your place, and then if you want to let them go, it's not really something that you should really be suggesting, you know? Also, like, what do you mean, like, you don't want to let them go? That's the thing I'm actually curious about. Like, in a way, like, are they like uncomfortable with you or something? Because like if you invite them over to your place, right, to actually hang out with you, and you have a good time, that's good. But then whenever they decide to actually want to leave, it's not like them to actually like trying to leave you or anything. Is that the problem that you have? Sorry, because I'm trying to connect the dots right now. Yeah, so I'm a little bit stupid too. Uh, hmm. The question is that like, do you even know why would they leave? That's the thing I wanted to know. Is there a reason why they will leave to begin with? Did they give you enough good reasons for you to actually be included as a part of the reason, or is there like a thing where like they just want to leave because they have something to do, or like they just want to leave or to give them space or something? Because like if there was something going on in their life, I think it would be the best for you to actually let them know that you're still there, but at the same time give them space for themselves, because like sometimes in the end of the day we don't live for everyone. We live for ourselves, and sometimes some people tend to actually like have needed some kind of space for themselves to figure out, and it could never be you are as a reason for it. It's just them, like they have a little bit trouble thinking about a couple of things.
Stylish, and she might lie to your face, but she's still gonna get a fan cam. Claire is this beautiful, kind, capable woman who takes zero nonsense, and Lady D had like 10
Oh my god, how could I forgot about Lady D? She also has a character despite being a villain.
minutes of screen time in Village,
She's really
and she
hot.
still
Yeah.
owned Halloween for like
Oh, come on, for the love of God. The only reason why Resident Evil 7 was actually a big thing is because we have Big Mommy literally here existing in the game. And I don't know was the only reason the game actually got popularized. Literally. Do you see the amount of people literally coming out left and right from the Twitter cave, literally spamming shit about Lady D? Lady D is someone that you don't want to actually miss. If you have a chance to meet her, you better stuck to onto her own calf like a raccoon.
the next 2 years. They're hot,
Yep.
they're cool, they've got so much range, and you
Yeah,
remember
it's the entire premise that, like, well, what women really want to play is they want to play an aggressive, masculine, ugly woman that's unlikable, that tries to pretend to be a man and is simultaneously flawless, but has these obvious flaws as well that don't matter, that are actually good things. It's like basically
Which makes the character less interesting to actually look into or have any relation on have any relatable things going around for the characters. It makes it less interesting to look at. I think there are characters there. I like most of the characters that are so flawed, but it's so interesting to look what their actually action and motives is. I think Joel from The Last of Us Season 1 is a fantastic flawed character. Fantastic flawed character. He's smart, he's a strong fella, he's a father who loves Ellie, but you cannot deny the fact that he has to take actions that are brutal, absolutely dark ways to actually handle things. There are things that you will have to agree for him, despite him being a very loving person. But that's a male version. That's a male guy. Wait, what male guy? That's a guy. What about female lead though? That's the thing. I think I guess Ada Wong is one of those things as well, where like Ada Wong you wish to have a relationship with Leon, but sometimes she can't because of her working with Wesker, and she doesn't want to compromise onto Leon. It's a very flat thing to have.
the way that they write women characters, it's almost like whenever it's like it's as dishonest as whenever you answer the question on a resume, what's your biggest weakness? It's like, I try too hard. That's basically it.
them, you want to be them, or you just kind of want them to emotionally damage you just a little bit. It's the same kind of energy with Monster Hunter
serious.
Wilds. They dropped a couple of
Yeah,
stunning-
yes, yeah, they drop it off. Damn, see they drop it off Gemma and also the I don't remember her name. Bruh, you haven't played the game RE Village. Ethan does his best to rescue his child. Oh yeah, another character that's actually really good as well. Ethan, phenomenal, amazing character as well. Ethan, Chris. But Ethan is probably one of those characters that is actually completely flawed. Really, he is willing to do everything in his best, in his capabilities to save his child, but knowing the fact that he is actually fighting against a bigger odds and sacrifice himself, it makes you think like it tells you that he's not really someone that you can actually like hoping that he can actually be in a really coming back in One Piece, and I think that's a really interesting characterization. But that's that's much I can say. I don't really know what to say. And yeah, I haven't played Resident Evil Village unfortunately yet. I've been wanting to actually get into Resident Evil, but I want to get into by one of the game if I can. I'll play Resident Evil 1 remake, 2 remake, 4 remake. Then I'll get into Resident Evil 7 and Village.
Woman, and the internet instantly started to
Wait, Village is 8, right?
cosplay. They're expressive and graceful, and they've just got that.
Well, and it's also that like even the older woman, I forgot her name in Monster Hunter Wilds, like there's nothing that's like diminutive or whatever or negative about her. It's nothing weird. It's just simply a story, and it's normal.
Magnetism about them.
Yeah.
And that's why the.
Whoa, is there any characters? What about Stellar Blade? I think Stellar Blade is another game where like, it has pretty cool, interesting characters that you can play. Or like Wuwa, Wooden Wave, when you actually decide to use a female character, because like in the end of the day, Arbiter has a really good story lore into the universe, you know? Not really it's like 7 plus. Oh. So they take like an expansion, like something like that. Okay, good to know. But like going back into the topic, I think like this all like the characters where like Stellar Blade has like really good female leads, story lore or something like that going around. You can appreciate it. I think Near Automata is also something like that as well. We can actually include because like she's also a female lead as well, but it doesn't compromise themselves a bit outside of a feminine side. I'm keep going around saying this thing again and again because I'm brainstorming all the games that I can think of about female leads.
Boys are in
Olivia,
love,
yeah,
the
there you go,
girls are
Olivia,
in
yeah, there
love,
you go.
and I am in love. And then we've got From Software, who just
Oh god, oh my god. I don't want to talk about From Software. I've been holding myself back from mentioning all of the From Software characters so badly because I want to try my best to actually talk about. I want to test my gaming knowledge at the very least without mentioning about From Software. But like, oh my god, if you're talking about From Software, Melina, Ronnie, we also have the Firekeeper from Dark Souls 3. We also have the Firekeeper who's stuck in a jail cell from Dark Souls 1. Guinevere. Oh my god, not a female, but Gwendolyn is also a pretty cool character. Is an interesting character to look into. Okay, we also have that one assassin who's actually in the same group as the Artorias. Sister Frida. We also have characters from Dark Souls 2, which is the Firekeeper herself. We also have the Firekeeper, not the Firekeeper. You also have the daughter of the blacksmith. You also have the. Oh my god, let rapid fire about Souls games. Dude, shut the fuck up. I've been holding myself back so much, okay, about Souls games. There because like you have no idea. Something about Souls game has stuck to me for a very, very long time. I love dark fantasy. Berserk is one of my favorite thing of all time. And the fact they actually put up a Berserk elements into a game, which is Dark Souls, it makes a lot of different things for me to like about now. Alright? Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 3, Dark Souls 2, even Dark Souls 2, I think they have a very good lore and implementation for each characters, even the female ones. I think the Firekeeper is also very unique. Except for the final boss kind of looks kind of like dead lame though, even though that's a female one. The girl MC in Hades 2, I don't want to give out my opinion about it, but we can actually talk about not the MC. We can talk about the other characters. I think the Spider Girl. We also have the Ghost Girl. We also have the Medusa Head Girl from Hades 1. That's also one of those characters where I think they're compelling. The Succubus that you're trying to actually have a romance with in the Hades 1, which is between Zagreus and also the Succubus one, but I forgot her name. You also have another character which is like the a godmother of Zagreus. Forgot her name, but suddenly thought it. Yeah, her name is shit. I forgot her name. Shit, I forgot her name. Melanoy. Melanoy is her name. Melanoy is her name. Nyx. Oh yeah, Sister Nyx is the godmother. Thank you for actually telling me. also another character that I think is very, very something that we should look into more. Very attractive. All these characters that I've been saying, including the Souls games, attractive, compelling, and you just want to actually, you know, look into more. It's just something that you just, man, this woman are hot. I want to go feral for them. Ah, ah. Sorry, sorry. You know what I'm talking about, right? But that's the whole point exactly. You're trying to actually. There's a lot of, for example, the characters that are very, very compelling, despite them not being males.
Casually releases the most haunting, elegant women in modern gaming like it's nothing. The doll from Bloodborne.
Oh my god, I forgot about the doll and also the Lady Maria, and I didn't get into the Elder Ring yet. We also have the female character, which is the mage teacher of Selen, Renala, Rolana. Even despite Rolana, we don't know anything about her. We don't even have never heard about her. We also have the America, another character that is actually really, really boss girl, but she's also like a very feminine side, even though despite that she can become herself into a deity itself. Though it's
Our
very
favorite
interesting.
Victorian comfort character. She's soft-spoken, she's gentle, and
Yeah.
she definitely knows more than she's letting on.
And she's a sex doll.
Yes. I don't want to accept that, but yes, just
That Gurman made of another girl that he liked.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep. Why we had to expose the lore to me? I want to play the game first, but yep.
Based.
Lady Maria, tragic, terrifying character.
That's the doll. That's the doll inspiration that she took for that Gurman took from. Oh dear.
Perfect posture. And
Oh
10 out of
god.
10, I would let her fight me again. Or Ronnie from Elden Ring.
Thank
who I
you.
was quite literally on my knees for, and I.
Ronnie is one of those characters that I would definitely say she is a well-written character compared to any other male characters that I've ever played. Literally, Ronnie has a really interesting story going around with her siblings, but especially with her fate, with the Golden Order. There was also a story about her with, I think, going around how she actually, like, she's a very smart girl. That's what I can say.
I made sure to do every single step of her quest.
Well, what
so
about
I could
the Dark
serve her
Souls
as
1? That was my
Or
favorite.
Melina. Oh, Melina was so glowing
let's go to
and
Dark Souls.
I'm
quiet and
I just wish we had more lore on Melina. But Dark Souls 1, We're gonna talk. Is it waiting for Guinevere to be mentioned?
sad. And then when she leaves you at the side of Grace, like, my work here is done. And you're just devastated, and you're just sitting there all by yourself, alone, in your little tunic. These ladies do not need exposition dumps or 80 cutscenes. They just.
Mind you. By the way, fun fact. None of the females characters in Dark Souls or Elden Ring, except for Guinevere, are very highly sexualized. Just to let you know, most of the female characters in Elden Ring are wearing armor and they're wearing a huge a huge cloak, and people will still go crazy for these characters. Mind you, literally, they're like the least sexualized character that you have ever encountered in the gaming community. Literally, and people will still go crazy for them.
Show up and drip elegance, drop one line of vague sorrow, and then next thing you know, you're obsessing over cosplays and fan art for like the next month.
Well, it's
Thank you,
because the
Exilius.
characters are attractive too. That's
Yeah.
another really big important thing that a lot of characters, a lot of people don't understand, is that Western artists and Western developers, especially American developers, nobody wants to cosplay an ugly bitch. And so, like, if you make a character in a game, like, do you remember? This was the saddest thing. Like, it actually was the saddest thing. Is that? Do you remember when Avowed put out a style guide for how to cosplay their characters?
Wait, what?
Style guide for how to cosplay their characters.
Wait, what?
Like, it actually was the saddest thing. Is that? Do you remember when Avowed put out a style guide for how to cosplay their characters?
You have a guy who's actually going to judge you whenever when you actually customize your own character? Ah. That's the first time I've heard of this.
That was sad. I actually forgot. Yeah, well, the thing is that only I would remember something like this, right? I would be the only person to remember this. Yeah, on God, what? Yeah, exactly, right? You have to be at least 300 pounds. Yes, so nobody wanted to do that because the characters aren't attractive and appealing.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never actually watched into
about characters that I know from like anime, and I don't know anything about the anime, but I know who the character is.
Oh god. Oh, that happens way too much with me actually. That happens way too often with me. Yeah.
Like, and that's the reason. It's because
like literally one of the few examples is literally High School of the Dead characters. None of them. I have never watched any of the. I have never watched the anime itself, but I just know them.
Women don't want to dress up as an ugly woman. Why would they want to do that?
It's like, you're the fan.
Isn't that the like? What do you have makeup for?
Say all of this because femininity is not outdated. It's not shallow.
Yeah, 2B. I've never played Nier Automata. Never played it.
Me too. I know 2B literally. I literally know 2B. That is crazy. Never played Stellar Blade. I still know Eve. Never played Bayonetta, but we all know Bayonetta, what she does and what she actually is capable of. Oh dear God! Never played Final Fantasy VII. I still know Tifa and Aerith. What the shit is wrong with me, dude?
But I know who 2B is.
Not something that you have to water down for the story to be taken seriously. It's range. So please let women be cute and manipulative, kind and a little chaotic, soft but have sharp teeth.
I would like to have another Pan and Palmer in my life when playing a game. Please, for the love of God, let me have another Pan and Palmer in my life in a new Cyberpunk sequel game. Please, please. If there is going to be a really good sequel of Cyberpunk 2077, please have another Pan and Palmer in the game. I would love to have that. I would love to have that. Literally, would love to get literally like flirt of like being flirty with her, but at the same time being very badass with her.
Pretty powerful, emotionally devastating, and the reason the protagonist starts journaling in a cave somewhere. Because femininity is Zelda, steadfast and radiant, and standing between her kingdom and ruin.
I forgot about that.
Femininity is not literally just being better than a man. You know what that's actually called?
Oh God.
That's called unresolved personal trauma.
No! What would you say that? Oh God.
Probably your dad, uncle, boyfriend, hopefully not husband.
You forgot teachers, but
no,
whatever.
Yeah, that's unresolved personal trauma. That's it.
And stubborn.
I'm sorry. I'm
Chris,
sorry.
Who's clever and compassionate. And
Jennifer.
Absolute thought who literally got with Geralt after he lost his memories, knowing that her friend that she had known for decades was his girlfriend. Does not matter. She's still doing it. Literal fucking hoe. Like the biggest generational hoe. Crazy. Like I didn't even play the game and I learned about this. Oh my God.
Mind you, I was actually a sim for Triss, by the way. I love Triss.
What a bitch.
She's a bitch, but she's a very sassy bitch.
This is why I can't ever choose her. Well, Yennefer's hotter. That's why I chose her. I mean, if she was hotter, then, I mean, yeah, she would have been right. But no.
Oh, come on, both of them are fucking attractive. Come on, dude.
It doesn't really matter. It's just a secondary thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just snakes in there.
Politics with you with a super soft smile that just makes you kind of forget that she's winning. Or Bayonetta, who's
thank God,
and
finally,
and treats every battlefield like a runway and then never manages to smudge her lipstick. Or Lightning, who's a beautiful.
Thank you for mentioning Lightning for Final Fantasy X. Never played the game, but I thank God I remember her. I'm yearning to actually play Final Fantasy X if I wanted to, but very, very nice character though.
Beautiful, guarded, and grieving character who carries the entire weight of the world in 6 cent shields. And when female characters are done right, they're not flat or abrasive or weak. They're actually narrative gold.
There's a lot of really good examples of this in gacha games too.
Thank you for bringing a gacha game as well, because I did mention about Wooden Wave earlier. Literally, I think like Wooden Wave did a pretty good job of like telling you the story of like, even though no matter like whenever you use the main character, right? I'm gonna go into the main character first. When you use the main character, you can tell like you can change between a male and female, but you can also tell like from female like standpoint, they don't really change the whole plot of like her being like very masculine or feminine, right? There is a point where you can actually say like, man, my character is fucking cool, and Zani in Wooden Wave, come on, another character that you can actually really think that she is very badass. She is very, she's like so tired, but sometimes she's very, very muscle mommy like. Zani is like the best example here.
I would say like Zila and Branya in Honkai
Shorekeeper
Star Rail.
baby. Shorekeeper, oh my god, yes. Personally, Shorekeeper is better a written character compared to Zani, because I do think her purpose is much more better. But Shorekeeper is a very good example as well. Shorekeeper, Contrella, Carlota, Changli, we can push the Wuwa aside. Let's go talk about ZZZ. I think Miyabi is also another character that's actually very interesting to look into. Bernice. I think the new character from ZZZ that's coming up is Yuan Ji? Ji Yuan? I don't remember. That's also really cool as well. They're appealing characters. They're not they're not flat out boring to me. It's not because of them having big boobas. No, big boobas for me is secondary. Personally, when it comes to a gacha game, I tend to actually look into like what does this character actually kinda goes through, because I think that's a beautiful appeal when it comes to like making into a gacha game. You know, a gacha game has ample of opportunity to show you the world and expensive, rich characteristic going around with people who are actually living it. They did a really good job with Carlota and Contrella, where like there's two families that are actually fighting each other, but Contrella and Carlota are fighting each other to actually how to get Rover on their side, because Rover is a Lord Arbiter, right? Camellia is also another character that is actually pretty crazy to actually look into. She's like she's not a simp. She's just more like a fanatic character who lost her mind, but only Rover is just there to actually help her out.
Are pretty well written, and I would also say that I think Gen Z in Wuthering Waves is well written as well.
Gen Z? What's Gen Z? Gen Z? What's that? what is that? Oh yeah, Honka Star Rail. I forgot about Honka Star Rail. Jinshi. Oh, Jinshi. Thank you. Oh yeah, Jinshi is also a really good character as well. I forgot about Honka Star Rail. Also another game that has really good characters for the female leads. You know, like what was her name? Archeon. Archeon is probably one of the few characters that are very, very promising for me to actually look into. Love her style, love her attention to details for a little bit of purpose of life for her. It's just nice.
Carlotta, I mean, like those are just like I mean, these are well written, good characters. Acheron. Yeah, Acheron is also very well.
Yeah, see, Acheron
written too. That's a good
Acheron
point.
is her name. Sorry.
And yeah, so Cardathea. Yeah, Cardathea is very, very good too. Yeah, that's the new one. I forgot about that.
Oh, he still plays. He still plays Wooden Wave. Wait, we should really watch the video of him looking into Wooden Wave, I think.
And so it's like, where's really like.
That's the point. The point of us talking all of this, giving out most examples, literally, there's no reason for you to change. There's no reason for you to force the female lead into a male perspective. There's no need to do that, because in order for you to actually make them interested into a female lead or female characters, just make a female character that are just female characters. just based on female characters itself, like the feminine side, or it doesn't have to be feminine. Just make them another muscle mommy, make another Junker Queen. Like mind you, Overwatch 2 has also really good characters as well. Mercy, Widowmaker, Anna, even though she's old. Junker Queen, Orisa. May, there's so many characters that are just not flat out boring or just forceful, or just forceful with their own femininity. Their own feminine is makes what makes them very appealing, and it's not died out. It doesn't really died out. It never has been. It's just that like you just don't do it right.
And again, all of these games are Gooner games. If people like these, the people would be complaining, calling these.
Mind you, by the way, ZZZ and also Wuwa are probably the most least Gooner games I have ever played in my entire life. I'm just saying right now. And also PGR is also another game that I think has really the least Gooner thing ever about the game.
These Gooner games, but they still have better written female characters. Phoebe,
Yeah.
Nobody cares about Phoebe. Literally.
Whoa,
Nobody gives a shit.
Why you nobody give a shit about Phoebe? What's up with Phoebe? What did Phoebe did? What did Phoebe did wrong?
Have tension.
Honestly, I was kind of a bit sad the fact that we didn't get a lot of things going on with Phoebe. Phoebe is still an okay character.
And softness that stabs, or beauty as a weapon. Let's let women be gorgeous and terrifying, sweet and strategic.
Can we have another Lady D moment, please? Oh no, we already have a Lady D in Booba, which is Katatia. Literally, the next update, we literally are getting a Lady D, but in blue. In Wuwa in the next update. Literally, thank God. But I would like to have another Lady D in my entire life in the different games, please.
Gentle and unhinged. Let
Zero.
them be feminine.
She's the cat
again.
girl, right? I'm gonna be real. She cooks.
I want to talk about like I want to talk about Batman as well. Like Cat Girl. Oh my God, I'm literally bringing up a lot of a lot of female characters right now. More than I thought. I'm pretty kind of cultured. I'm not gonna lie. I'm surprised myself.
Like, I've never heard this girl talk before or say anything. I completely agree with everything that she said, and this is just.
This is also a very nice thing to actually say, because like you don't see a lot of. One thing about this video, why this video is actually really good, is because this video was actually not brought up by a lot of female content creators. Why did Pokemon never talk about this? Why did Pokemon, Valkyrie, or any of the major female streamers never talk about this in games? Because at the end of the day, they don't really give a shit, or probably because they probably try to actually save themselves from having like a huge community pressing on them or disagreeing with them. You know, they don't want to deal with that. But in the end of the day, what this woman talked in the video is truly something that we should be really concerned about female characters in gaming nowadays. Because nowadays we have games like Dragon Age Velguard that was actually considered to be fine, but in the end of the day, the writing of the characters have been diminished. The game is good, don't get me wrong. Some people say the game is 7 out of 10, but at the end of the day, the damage has been done to the community who love the franchise for a very long time. They don't respect the source material. They don't respect what is a character make them define the way that they are in a franchise. In the end of the day, they did a damage here. The damage control cannot be stopped here. So this is something that I think is a fantastic video that no one ever has talked about. Fantastic video. Literally very surprising for me. Huh. And it's a woman who talks about it. And you don't see that a lot.
Just a clip from the video, but I'll link you guys her video that she made about this and talked about it. Yeah, I mean, oh wow, look at this. She only has 300 subscribers.
And that's insane. This was 3 weeks ago. So in a week, this was 2 days ago. Never mind. So in just 3 days, under 3 days, this girl has reached into 80,000 subscribers because of one singular video. 866k people have watched this video. You're joking me. 866k. Congratulations for that woman, actually. It's a really good video. Damn!
Holy shit, here, let me link you guys your video. She'll be canceled tomorrow. Yeah, surely. And
whatever that guy is talking about. You don't even know what the hell you're talking about, bro.
there you go. Yeah, give it a like, give her a sub. Yeah, I had no idea. Are you watching Google Keynote later on today? Google Keynote. Yeah, I'll give it a like. Yeah, that's amazing. And so, yeah, she deserves more. I think so too. I think that she broke it down in a way that was really healthy, and it was intelligent, and it was accurate and fair, and just really well done and respectful. Yeah, refreshing. Absolutely. There you go, guys. Give it a like.
This would be a good video for the baby incorporated. Literally, was it Baby? I don't remember. I don't remember what was the name of the company that has like really shitty writers in it.
A sub, and yeah, let me see here. 386 subscribers. That's insane. There's 1,386.
Jeez, people! Oh my god! Oh my god! And this was like her first video that was like uploaded 3 weeks ago. That is fantastic!
Alright, see guys? Good job. Yeah, keep doing it. Keep going. There you go, guys. Just went up to 1,000. That's a good start.
Jeez, man.
That's a good start. Keep going. And yeah, there it is. It was fast. Well, yeah, I think that, and the reason why is that people are in dire need of genuine, authentic conversations and commentary that isn't with a weird agenda. It's honest, direct, fair, and genuine. That's the reason why. That's what people are waiting for. They've been waiting on this for a long time. So yes, absolutely, this is great. And now at over, now 2,000.
Jeez, it's going up and more. Holy shit.
Jesus.
Holy shit, indeed.
Oh my fucking god. Yep, there we go. Or one-sided, completely one-sided. Yeah, update. Yes, good job, guys. Great. And hopefully this can give her a bit more of an audience, and people will be able to, you know, see some good content that I think is accurate.
Man,
and,
that is phenomenal.
Well, good. I'm glad I was able to find it. I haven't seen any of this at all before. And if you guys ever find clips like this of, you know, smaller content creators that you think are, you know, worth looking at or whatever, I mean, I definitely want to know about it. So, yeah, I mean, I agree with everything that she was saying. I mean, 100 fucking percent.
Jeez, man.
Hi,
And now, how many does she have right now? It's still growing. It's still growing. 82K. Jeez, it was 80K earlier. I look at, and now she's. Oh my god, that is amazing, dude. Now I want to watch this video.
I'm gonna be real. She cooked.
I want to watch this video.
Like, I've never heard this girl talk before or say anything. I completely agree with everything that she said. Oh wow, look at this. She only has 300 subscribers. Holy shit. Here, let me link you guys your video.
all right, so I was not expecting that. First of all,
yeah, God bless you, man.
A huge thanks to Asmongold for somehow finding my video and then reacting to it, and to everyone who's here now because of that. I'm legitimately like brand new to YouTube, and I genuinely did not expect this video to get really any attention, much less blow up now the way that it has, but here we are. So before all this, it really was just me and my 300 Spartans holding the line in the comment section.
That's the dude that put a fucking 300 into the movie poster. God dang it. I love it.
It appears we've been overrun by roaches, which, by the way, you guys, some of the nicest roaches that I've ever met. Seriously, thank you so much for all of the encouragement.
That's so cute.
If you're not one of the original 300, that means that you're new here. So, hi, I'm very glad you're here. I'm just somebody who grew up loving games and who's been watching the industry slowly start to feel very hollow. And the spark that I fell in
I don't know if I want to say it's hollow, but it does suddenly to feel worrisome, because like now we have the gaming community, like the gaming industry has been a little bit more on the steep side now. One is like we are facing like $80 price tag on the games nowadays. We also have the games that are like originally being just not going to be very creative on the side of things. Like the thing is, like I think like here's another. I wanna say something about like the Doom, the Dark Ages. Doom, the Dark Ages is way too much of money that I need to actually spend on. I think the game should be around at least, I don't know, around $50 at the very least, in my opinion. $50 would be probably at the very least the most money that you can actually pay for. I think for paying the game it is with 10 hours of campaign and then I don't know. It's just not the way that I want it to be. And then you have a game. You have games that are actually being invaded by a lot of de novo, where apparently de novo actually kind of actually does terrorize a lot of gaming performance. And there's also Most on the Wilds, where like the game itself is actually being cooked with like very terrible frame rate, with very bad performance around all around in the game. Don't get me wrong, the game is good, but the game was just fully not very well developed. Uh, what other games? I think remastered games are getting a little bit overhand. We also have like games like uh, but I'm putting on but fuck you know what, forget the last point. I think games nowadays are we're also getting a really good amount of good games nowadays. We also have like I don't know if Elevator Night Race is gonna be good, but the multiplayer games that are really getting better are like Mario Rivals, a game that is actually really good. Actually, apparently for a hero shooter genre, it didn't die out at all. Apparently, the game was actually literally still growing. The fact that even after 20 million sold or 20 million people players are playing the game, people are still buying the game. Oh no, playing the game and buying skins from the game. Even now, the skins for the game are actually phenomenal, and we got games like Expedition to the Tree. That game was actually made by the ex developer from Ubisoft, and the fact that the game was not even $50 is very generous of them. $40 or $30, I could be wrong, and the game is well probably going to be one of those Game of the Year's contenders. Without no doubt, I would agree with everyone saying it's a Game of the Year. Without no doubt. And I think we are pretty having like a good but also pretty kind of bad year of gaming as well, because Nintendo Switch is pretty kind of a little bit into like trying to build up the fans onto their own community, but also like controlling what they can in the community in their own community as well, what they can actually do is a little bit sucking money in my opinion. But like overall, it's a little bit going left and right. It's a little bit unstable here. It's pretty kind of a bit hard. But I'm glad there's actually people out there like really genuine about the gaming world like this, because like I thought like I don't know if I ever have anyone else who can actually talk about gaming stuff with me. But it's nice the fact that it's not only Asmongold that I can just look into.
Love with that made these characters unforgettable or stories emotionally rich. It's missing in a lot of what we're getting now. And it doesn't have
I
to
would
be
agree on
way.
that.
I really just made this channel to have a place where
Hot take. This could be a hot take, but I think The Last of Us 2 as a game is not. I think narrative driven game are a little bit dishonest as of being as a game. I think like don't get me wrong, games like God of War or probably The Last of Us 2 is good as well because they have a gameplay element. But narrative driven games nowadays are just a little bit something that I don't really go into. Maybe it's just not for me personally. There is a telltale games where you have multiple option in the game that leads you to a different outcome. I think that's a game itself. It's just I'm talking about like narrative driven game that's like very linear, you know? Maybe it's just me. I don't think as a very linear narrative-driven game, I don't think that's actually a game at all. And I think it's a little bit moving away from its creativity-driven idea of being a good-looking game, I guess.
I unpack that and I talk about games
But
and
I don't know. I could be wrong.
storytelling and character writing, anime, soon, and overall fantasy, just all through the lens of someone who deeply cares about how these worlds are built and how their stories are told. So let's talk about Asmon's reaction. Honestly, it's kind of crazy that I'm even saying that. I discovered his channel at the end of last year, and the fact that he actually somehow saw the first video I've ever made is something that's truly blowing my mind. But
because your video really does have really good points. They really have really good points, and one of those points are very, very heavily talked about in the gaming industry. Mind you, there's a lot of people on Twitter are pretty kind of hating on this kind of stuff, literally.
Yeah, he had a lot of really great things to say, and there were a few things especially that he brought up that I really appreciated.
I think the problem is that I think this is my opinion, is that I think a lot of female writers try to write female characters in opposition to what a female character has traditionally been. What ends up happening is that you're not creating any, it's like kind of like a card, right? And so like a card like can't stand up by itself. It has to be leaning against another card. So they write this personality to lean up against the old personality of one-dimensional boob characters, and that's it. And so if you take one of these away, they both fall apart.
Essentially here, it seems like he's saying the industry overcorrected, and I thought that was spot on. Because really, overall, the point that I was trying to make with this video is that gamers do not hate female characters. Actually, gamers really love female characters. We just want good ones. And the issue here is how the AAA industry has tried to somehow fix the old, just, you know, overly sexualized or empty female leads we used to get.
They look at it as a problem. That's the thing that I was actually really surprised about. Like, if you're like, for example, oh my god, I can't believe we gotta talk about this again. Halo. Like, where they took the Halo from the game and then they tried to put it into the show, and then they changed the writing of that and make the make Master Chief to show off the helmet. That completely destroys the people who love the game, or like originally. I think this is like the moment where, like, I think some of the developers don't really appreciate the older fans who really do like their stuff. They don't see it. They don't really understand that. I think like Devil May Cry is one of those things as well, because Devil May Cry 5 and Devil May Cry the show from Netflix are very different distinctively, because you have Lady there being very unlikable in the show, but you have the game where like Lady is much more lady. And it's a bit hard for like it's a bit hard to see to say this. It's the fact that like you have these people who don't really actually look into the people who really do love the games, especially in the older fans. Like, I think I don't know if PlayStation even heard this, but PlayStation, I don't think they actually ever knew the fact that there's actually like a Killzone fan base. People love that. People love Killzone. Literally, Killzone Resistance. Like Capcom, you have Dino Crisis, but I think they are making like they're making of the game right now. But I could be wrong. I think Capcom is doing a really good job of like remaking those games and respect the older audience, like the Dead Rising remastered, and then Resident Evil 1, 2, and also 3 and 4 remastered. And sorry, there's no Resident Evil 1. Sorry, Resident Evil 2, 3 remastered, and 4 as well remastered. And then there's a Street Fighter 6 where like they're trying their best to actually respect what they can actually fix from Street Fighter 5. And there's like long-term fan where like they know how to respect it. Mortal Kombat is one of those games where like Mortal Kombat 1 did not do a really good job of like trying to actually build up a really consistent good games. I've heard a couple of internal issues with Mortal Kombat 1, but I wasn't sure really, so I can't really got into it. But I've heard Mortal Kombat 1 was like what's the word for it? It was a de-evolution of it. It was a degrading version of Mortal Kombat X. That's what I'm trying to say.
Swinging the pendulum so far in the other direction, and now we're just getting female leads that are very flattened and defeminized.
They try too hard.
Honestly, it seems like the message they're trying to send is
I think if you piss a lot of people in Twitter, that means you're doing something right nowadays. I think that would be actually... Don't forget, either Twitter or Reddit. If you piss a lot of people in Twitter or Reddit, are you doing something good there? Yeah. No, actually, if you're doing something and you see someone who has a trans flag and being pissed at you, you're doing something right, I guess. But like maybe jokes aside, you can still get a fair amount of opinion in Twitter, but I don't think you should use Twitter as a place that you can actually get the majority of opinion. I can't believe that Instagram could be the place that you can actually get better opinions compared to Twitter.
Somehow it's inherently shameful or bad if you are just a feminine woman. And they've really just stripped these characters of everything that once made them so iconic. And I don't think this part was in the reaction video, but like I said...
Why do I have a good question. Why do we have an Oblivion character creation here? Like, it's killing me off a little bit.
Said in my original video, anytime I get the opportunity to play a game that has a character creator, I make my female character like as ethereal as possible.
Okay, I'll take it back. You can literally have that character creation over there now. Now it's not killing me off already. And even the fact that we have a backstory of why she puts a character creation video in there makes me literally just like liking her more and more now. I like that. I take back everything negative I said about her having that as a video background, literally.
She's glowing and unattainably beautiful because my goal is really to aspire to the character that I'm playing. Something about her should feel larger than life, especially in a fantasy setting, and I just don't really want to play as someone who's super realistic, like just an average looking or tired or worn down character.
This is why people love anime more compared to the live action, literally, because anime looks so unrealistic. Literally, people who really do love anime in the end are just loving the fact that it's just not realistic to begin with. They don't look realistic, they look very simplistic, but they still consider them beautiful regardless, because they know. They just know. They just know what an attraction should be, because like they want to live in those kind of worlds, and they don't really want to actually look into the reality they have right now, because they know they are flawed in the end of the day. I could be wrong by that.
Problem dealing with that completely on my own in everyday life. I don't need it in my game.
Yeah.
And he also brought up Ripley from Alien, who...
That is why I always love to actually create a character in my game as goofy as I can be, but at the same time very, very close to my character. So like whenever I have a character like myself, I will make my character have a long ass nose, without no doubt, put up into the maximum, literally make myself a Woody Woodpecker. I would love to have that. Or a Pinocchio. I do not care.
Is in fact the OG, honestly, because I just don't understand how we can have someone that complex, maternal, beautiful, and strong in a movie that came out over 40 years ago. But somehow in 2025, we're like back to struggling to find that balance. And it's not that we don't have cool...
You know, there was a saying from Esmongol, is the fact that we are moving not forward, we're moving backwards nowadays. We have so advanced in terms of technology. We decided to actually, nope, we have enough of that. Let's go back to the time stone age. What do you mean? It's the same picture. What do you mean? What the fuck? What do you mean it's the same picture? Fuck you!
Female characters, we absolutely do, but the number of women in games who feel truly iconic, like they'll stick in your head for years after you beat the game, that list is just getting really short. Also, I did not expect the Triss slander. Or
oh yeah. I didn't know anything about Triss, but I do like her for being beautiful though.
Triss, who's clever and compassionate.
Absolute thought, who literally got with Geralt after he lost his memories, knowing that her friend that she had known for decades was his girlfriend, does not matter. She's still doing it. The biggest generation.
If you're still willing to go for it, the fact that knowing that Geralt has a girlfriend, you know what? There's a thing that's saying like the more the merrier, they say on Beth. So why not? We'll go for it. I fucking love that.
Crazy. Like I didn't even play the game and I learned about this. That's
hot take, I guess. I actually really like the Triss romance, so I don't know what that says about me, but I'm standing by it. Now, to be
It's
clear,
fine.
there are some really amazing female characters out there right now. And I didn't even get to touch on the women in Baldur's Gate 3, like Shadowheart or...
I really want to actually go into Baldur's Gate 3 because I do know the characters are actually really nice. Yeah. Oh God, the moment she mentioned that, I makes me regret for not actually playing Baldur's Gate 3 sooner.
Bazel, just very intense, emotional, strong, and just really beautiful, realistic women. And I'm still playing through Claire Obscure, but so far I am just
Oh, Clap scored Expedition 33. Never mind.
loving
I'm
the
sorry.
story and the characters. And even though it seems like we have a majority female cast in that game, what I love most is that none of them feel one-dimensional. They're allowed to be feminine, beautiful, and powerful all at the same time. And they're written with complexity, but they're not being defanged to feel safe. They're emotionally rich and visually just very attractive and magnetic. And it proves that it can be done. And it can be wildly successful. We just need more of it. This video wasn't meant to list every single exception that we have. It's more to just highlight the bigger pattern and the way that so many AAA games have lost the confidence to write women with texture and flair and just overall presence.
Well, it's because the characters are attractive too. That's another really big important thing that a lot of characters, a lot of people don't understand. Western developers, especially American developers, nobody wants to cosplay an ugly.
So yeah,
Damn.
Thank you so much, Asmund. Thank you for shining a light on little old me. And this is honestly all just very surreal, but I'm glad that it's coming from someone whose audience seems to really vibe kind of with what I'm saying, and it seems like for the majority everyone is kind of agreeing and on the same page, so that's great. But ultimately the original video was made not because I just wanted to harp on the state of current games, but because I love games. I do, and I
don't think she is a person that wants to actually take the gaming industry down, you know? It doesn't feel that way because you can tell that she loves gaming.
They're capable of doing when storytelling is done correctly. And when a female character gets the opportunity to be all of the things, bold, weird, funny, beautiful, complicated, and still feel like a genuine and real human being, I just want more of that. Because at the end of the day, I'm just a lifelong fan who wants to feel something again when I pick up my controller. And I think that we all do.
I think that she broke it down in a way that was really healthy and it was intelligent and it was accurate and fair and just really well done.
That's so
and
cute.
respectful. Yeah, refreshing. Absolutely. There you go, guys.
Really speaking, it is kind of refreshing. It's kind of refreshing to see there's actually a girl who actually literally comments about this kind of stuff. It's kind of nice because I've been seeing more and more about guys talking about it, but in the end of the day, it doesn't change anything about it at all. So like, and plus, what's interesting is the fact that, like I said earlier, most of the big content creators don't really talk about this. Actually, they don't really talk about any of this because it doesn't really matter to them at all.
For a sub. And yeah, let me see here. 386 subscribers. That's insane. There's 1,386. All right. All right. See, guys? Good job. Yeah, keep doing it. Keep going. There you go, guys.
Did she? Oh my god, she got another 400. Oh my god. Congrats. That is nice. That is very, very nice. I like this video. I'll probably subscribe to her actually. I'm gonna subscribe to her if I on my main account actually. Hold on. I think she's actually a real one. I think she actually deserves a subscribe because you don't see this kind of people actually talk about this kind of stuff in gaming. Like, I don't care about in real life relationship, you know, and those kind of stuff. But like knowing the fact that like there's people talking about like femininity and also relationships going around. Oh, not relationships. Like most of the big criticism that we have nowadays in gaming industry, it's actually kind of refreshing from her. Like compared to other content creators, they brought it up, but it's just refreshing the fact that she take it in the most calming situation way of possible. She just talks about it. She's a real one. I'm subscribing to her. Okay. Enough of things that we don't even care about. For now. Now, shall we play Dark Souls 3 now, y'all?